It's one of the most prestigious sports in the world and is certainly the most advanced motorsports event of the year. Cars going faster than airplanes' takeoff speeds, driven by some of the most skilled drivers on the planet. All that in a race, literally taking place around the world. That is the power and popularity of Formula One. As one of the richest sports, it conducts 23 races across the world with some of the biggest automakers fighting to be crowned the world's best manufacturer with the world's best driver. These cars are designed to drive as fast as possible and are at the bleeding edge of technology. Downforce on these cars is so incredible that they can drive upside down in a tunnel. And while Formula One is one of the most popular sports today, it was not always the case. So this video is all you need to know about how Formula One became the richest motorsport in the world. Let's start. In the 1920s and 30s, rich guys in Europe were racing their sports car in hastily organized contests which they called Grand Prix. But the Second World War halted any sort of racing for some time. Right after the war ended, FIA was founded, which set multiple different racing formats. The most exclusive and top tier of all was called Formula A, which later became Formula One. This period featured teams managed by road car manufacturers like Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Maserati. There were also not many rules which governed the races, except the size of the engine itself. The first major technological development was Bugatti's reintroduction of mid-engine cars. You see, up until that point, all engines in Formula One were placed at the front, much like a traditional car. But Bugatti changed that, and by doing so, they won 3 consecutive world championships, which made competitors switch to mid-engine cars. The Ferguson P99, a 4-wheel drive design, was the last front-end F1 car to enter a world championship in 1961. Then came the golden era of Formula One in the 1970s. Bernie Ecclestone, the head of Formula One, rearranged the management of the race and its commercial rights, and today is widely credited with transforming the sport into the multi-billion-dollar business it is now. Also, during this period, many changes to the car design and its engine came into play, in line with the new rules that FIA brought in. Due to the constantly changing rules and technological advances, the cost of competing in Formula One increased dramatically. Drivers from McLaren, Williams, Renault and Ferrari, dubbed as the Big Four, won every world championship from 1984 to 2008. The teams also won every Constructors' Championship from 1979 to 2008, causing the poorer independent teams to struggle not only to remain competitive, but to stay in business altogether. Several teams also withdrew from Formula One during this time. The biggest were in 2008 and 2009, when Honda, BMW and Toyota all withdrew from the format within the space of a year, blaming the high cost and the economic recession. The 2000s also saw many changes in the sport, including the qualifying format, the point scoring system, technical regulations, and rules specifying how long engines and tires must last. They focused on improvement rather than innovation. With changes in rules and focus on smaller, more efficient engines, recent years have seen an increase in car manufacturer presence in the sport itself. After Honda's return as an engine manufacturer in 2015, Renault came back as a team in 2016. In 2018, Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo, historic winners of all Formula One's races, became Red Bull and Sauber's title sponsors respectively. In August 2020, a new Concord agreement was signed by all F1 teams, committing them to the sport until 2025, including a $145 million budget cap for car development to support equal competition and sustainable development in the future. A significant overhaul of the technical regulations intended to be introduced in the 2021 season was pushed back to 2022. The start of the 2020 season was delayed by several months, and both it and the next seasons were subject to several postponements, cancellations and rescheduling of races due to the restrictions on international travel. A fan or not, one cannot question the popularity and advancement behind Formula One, which continues to grow with each season. As always, if you like this video, do drop in a like and subscribe for the channel. Thank you for watching.